All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As an announcement, Mr. Benor called in sick this evening. He will not be here. We're sailing away. Executive session announcements. Tommy, you want to?
The Board of Supervisors met in executive session on August 15th to discuss 3 matters of personnel and specific: the chief of police position, the township engineer position, and a matter pertaining to employee benefits.
Okay. And meeting minutes. I believe there was a correction there too, Tommy.
For the August 3rd minutes, we have corrected the motions in seconds for the votes for the interfund transfers, bill lists, and payroll.
Okay. Anything else there?
I wasn't here. You are entitled to vote.
No, I
to
don't.
approve the minutes, yeah.
No, that's okay, because I did go ahead, Matt, and reviewed most of the video,
Okay.
the benefit of the video.
Okay, well then I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes, corrected meeting minutes as presented. Do I hear a second?
And I will second that.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Okay, we'll move forward to action items. Resolution 2023-11.
This is the right Eversol land development. The applicant has presented final plans that are now in form to be considered for final plan approval. I see the applicant is here, also represented by counsel. If they have anything to present, now's the time.
Claudia Schenk from McNeese with Bill Roundtree. Just wanted to say briefly, I believe we're at a place where we have a pretty clean review letter for this plan, ready to move forward. As you've seen, they've been doing work out there and are looking forward to moving forward with some building construction and so on. The resolution that's before you this evening is something that was discussed and agreed upon with your solicitor in terms of some of the content and commitments, especially those relative to Hill Road. So certainly Bill would be in the best position to answer any technical questions. I can answer any questions that you might have about the resolution.
And I would say regarding the resolution, that comes with substantial input from Mike and Tommy on the technical side and on the administrative side.
Mr. Roundtree. Good evening. Just for informational purposes, you've been back and forth with PennDOT how many times now?
So the traffic impact study, I believe we finally got approval around 6, which is a personal record of mine, and also my project manager for TPD, in the bad way. And we're in our second round of technical review on the HOP.
When we have to be?
Our driveway, we're still projecting by the end of the year, so that'll be before the building is ready. And then we'll, at that point, be able to submit to the road. So that's our plan.
And Bill, the back and forth with PennDOT was on. We had was on several issues, but one of the big issues was traffic counts and occupancy codes and everything, and that'll carry through into the next round with PennDOT on the Hill Road work as well.
I don't think it will. Part of the problem was, if you recall, we initially did go in with the full scope of improvements, including Hill Road. That was multiple rounds. The next to last, or 2 rounds before the end, is when PennDOT said, you can't move forward with this until we get serious about Hill Road and figure some things out. That's when I came hand in hand, and we came up with this unique agreement to let me proceed with the driveway and then follow up with the road. So the current study as it exists doesn't ignore this future project. It addresses it. As a matter of fact, the last round of comments wanted to know more about that.
Good.
So it's in there. I don't anticipate an issue on the TIS side. On the technical HOP side, where I'm not going to pretend to know how many rounds. I would think 3 rounds. But we'll see.
The issue, not only with this project, but with a lot of industrial projects these days, we depend on is properly identifying who the potential tenant could be in the ITE manual or trip generation, so that a traffic study is done. And you've encountered the issue, and others are encountering the issue. We're going to continue to hear that.
Okay. Do you have anything?
No, I didn't.
Any questions from the audience? Okay.
Doug Mackley. I had asked this question before and I never really got an answer, so I'm going to bring it up again. I have in my hand a deed of land from Chris Zins to this township. He donated 2 parcels of land. One was 8.995 acres and the other one was 25.0336 acres. The very last page of the deed, I'm going to read it verbatim. By this conveyance, the grantor and the grantee. The grantor is East Cocalico Township and the grantee is East Cocalico Township. By this conveyance, the grantor and grantee, being the same party, intend that tract number 1 and tract number 2, herein described, shall constitute a lot and shall not for purposes be joined or treated as a single lot, and shall for all purposes be joined and treated as a single property. The further contention of this guarantee and grantee that neither tract may be conveyed individually, and that the grantor or grantee relinquishes any right to do so in the future, intending for all purposes and intents that the tract shall hereinafter be merged and shall constitute a single property. My question is, how are we going to put a road through a piece of property that was granted this township and was told not to be divided? Are we not going to divide it? I shouldn't put words in your mouth.
No, so that language is a variation on several that the assessment office accepts to do a deed of combination. Using that language, you can take several separate parcels and for assessment purposes, combine them into one without doing an add-on plan. The benefit of that is that for assessment purposes, the value of a single tract is frequently assessed less than the value of separated tracts. And there is a benefit to the taxpayer to do that. That's the only purpose for doing that. However, the municipalities look at that and say, if you voluntarily do a deed of combination to pay less taxes, we're going to treat it as having been joined in common for all purposes. What that means is that they can't be separated without an approved subdivision plan. So it is not an impediment to subdividing. It is a restriction, a regulation that the municipalities enforce, that the only way you can undo that voluntary combination is by a lawful subdivision.
So your subdivision then would override this deed, even though it's a recorded deed?
No, it doesn't override.
Sounds like it.
Well, that may be your interpretation, but it's not the way we consistently.
Who is we?
Every municipality that I'm aware of, those that I represent, those that I work in, That is solely for purposes of creating a single assessed property. And
There's no taxes involved here. This was granted to the township for $1.
so, I don't know, do we not pay taxes on any of that? Isn't some of that farm? No, okay, so, okay.
Yeah.
We don't pay taxes on our farmland? Yeah. Don't
No, no.
Yeah, because, yeah, don't
So-
tell anybody, but, no, that's the way it is done.
So you're saying that even though this deed says it can't be divided, the township has the ability to go to court or whomever and say we want to divide it back up?
I'm saying that by a properly approved subdivision plan, that land can be subdivided, yes.
So this is just a waste of time?
No. Again, you have your opinion,
Well, yeah, you do yours.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm the solicitor, so.
All right.
Doesn't a road constitute an immediate subdivision?
So it can, a road for dedication is a subdivision, yes. Because title is transferable. In this case, it's a little bit odd because the township owns it and the township will own it. It'll just own it in a different configuration as a dedicated road.
So the township is going to be the owner of this road when it's put in, and that means we're forever responsible for anything that PennDOT comes along and says drainage-wise. You should know that any state highway, we're responsible for the drainage, even though it's a state highway.
Yeah, but typically we push that off onto the developer with an indemnification agreement.
Well, you're dazzling me with words, but I'm still gonna,
Have your own opinion. I understand.
absolutely, and I object to it. I mean, I got a deed that says you can't do it, and you're saying we can. And I read this whole thing, and we're also gonna take $450,000 to help do this. There's nothing for nothing there.
That's a political decision, I have no opinion on that.
What do you say, RC?
I stick to what I said in the past. I think it's the right thing to do for the community in the long term. Hill Road, in my opinion, is a liability nightmare waiting to happen. Somebody pulling out of there is eventually gonna, the way that road sits now, turning right, turning left. It's horrific pulling out of it. And I think this is the absolute best way to help the community in terms of us getting that road realigned, getting the traffic over to a safe intersection that is signalized. And I think it's a win-win. I've always felt that way, and I still believe that.
And you're not opposed to the $450,000 contribution of our tax money
I think
to
that's,
put a road in that we own, on our own property?
I think it's one of the best investments we can make because of what we're getting in terms of their taking care of the signalized intersection, they're taking care of those improvements.
And I don't want anybody in this room to get the wrong impression. I'm not against this thing. But we had this land donated to us and now we're gonna give it away. That's the dumbest damn thing in plain English. You know, they don't make any more land. They don't invent more land. You can invent anything you want, but you don't invent land. Once it's gone, it's gone.
And I understand what you're saying, and this is where the difficult decisions have to come in. Sitting up here, you know that, you were here for many years. The difficult decisions come in, and in my opinion, what we're doing is the best thing we can do for the community. It's an investment long term.
And I don't want to belabor the point, I really don't, but your opinion on the intersection, what, for 1, 2, 3 people that complain about it, we're gonna make this big change? Because I can guarantee you, I could ask this chief or the one before him or the one before him, but I sat through all of them. And the amount of complaints you get on that road,
near misses and everything else are minuscule compared to other places in this township. And we're not doing anything about that. Again, my opinion.
Okay, anybody else?
What do you have to say, Jeff?
Public comments at the end of the meeting, sir.
You don't have any comment about
But
that?
I will say, I couldn't have said it better than what R.C. said.
Okay.
He relayed my feelings rather than.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
I have a question for clarification. So are we saying when this building is built and it's in operation, Hill Road will be closed and all traffic will come on the new road to the lake? Is that what we're hearing? That's what it looks like, is that right?
So that is still in the planning stages, and that would be the intended result, but PennDOT will have to approve that.
If PennDOT doesn't approve a light there where it shows on here, then what's the plan?
So if PennDOT doesn't approve the rerouting of Hill Road,
Or not just the light, but the whole rerouting?
correct, no light is warranted for your driveway, right, Bill?
Before Hill Road is connected,
Right,
our project standalone does not warrant a signal.
right, doesn't have.
So an
that's-
unsignalized-
Right, so the light is connected to the Hill Road relocation. If PennDOT doesn't approve that,
Doesn't approve a light?
the light and the Hill Road, so, well, let's separate it. Maybe one, if they only construct a driveway, maybe.
The new road.
No, a driveway
Driveway,
into their property.
okay?
Maybe one day, there'll be enough traffic for a light at that intersection, but not today.
So no road, just
So
an
no,
entrance.
so no road, just a driveway means no traffic light.
No light, no road.
Correct.
Entrance to the business.
If, and the intention is that the planning for the relocation of Hill Road will continue. And if Hill Road is relocated and the present intersection closed, and all of the traffic routed on the new Hill Road, it will meet the warrants for a traffic light, and a traffic light will be part of that permitting process.
So let me ask it another way. If the traffic from the new business doesn't warrant a new road and a light, we could have an entrance into this business and Hill Road is continue like it is.
Correct. Because those two intersections do, well, the new intersection needs PennDOT's permitting, taking into account the existence of the current intersection,
Okay.
even in its degraded level of service condition.
Thanks for the clarification.
Okay, anybody else? Are you good? You want to make the motion?
Yeah, so I will make a motion to grant final plan approval to Right Eversole Land Development 2021-03 for land development at North Reading Road.
And I will second that. And we already went through questions. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, there are none. Motion passed.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, Howard Hill Stormwater Plan, Mike Ryan.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Just a little background for the board, 561 Harold's Hill is a stormwater plan for a new garage, it's a small project application. Before you tonight would be approval of the plan, also improvement of the stormwater agreement and easement, as well as an improvements agreement with financial security in the amount of $5,660.60.
Okay. Are you good with that? Okay. As am I.
So I'll make a motion to approve the Strand-Headed Plan Improvement Agreement and Maintenance Easement Agreement at 561 Harold's Road.
And I will second
Harold's
that.
Hill, sorry, excuse me.
And I will second that. Any questions on that? Seeing none, I make a motion to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, there are none, motion passes.
The next item tonight is 120 Adamstown Road. This was a new house construction that required stormwater management improvements. I conducted a final inspection, received and approved as-built plans, and there is a recommendation to release the security for the project in the amount of $33,900 back to the owner.
Okay. You good with that? Okay, I make a motion to approve the release in full of security posted for stormwater improvements made at 120 Adamstown Road in the amount of $33,900. Do I hear a second?
I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, there are none, motion passes.
Okay, last on my list tonight is 100 Dorma Drive. This is the Dorma Cava land development project. I met with the owner and did a final inspection of that land development, and we're recommending a full release of the financial security in the amount of $283,361.06.
Okay. Any questions there? I have none either. I'll make a motion to approve the release in full of security posted for the site improvements made at 100 Dorma Drive in the amount of $283,361.06. Do I hear a second?
I will second that.
Motion and a second. Any questions from the audience? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, there are none, motion passes.
Very good.
You're done?
That's all I have for this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Next on the agenda, Cherry Place Properties. You got anything for us there, Matt?
So the board will recall, some time ago, authorized issue rezone to be directed for reviews. The proposed rezone was forwarded to our planning commission, to the Lancaster County Planning Commission, and also to our consultants. Before the board this evening is this same petition. I'll note that our planning commission and the county's planning commission both recommended the rezone. Specifically before the board this evening is authorization to proceed with the process, to have an ordinance prepared and advertised, and a hearing scheduled on the matter.
Okay.
Do we have a date for it?
It would be October 17th.
Is that the soonest that we would be able to, sorry, Claudia Shank, I'm also here on behalf of Cherry Place Properties. Is that the soonest that we would be able to do it?
Yeah. I'm sorry, that'd be the 19th.
You have anything on this?
No.
Okay.
What we're doing is moving forward.
Yeah, setting it.
Yeah. So I'll make the motion to authorize the preparation of an ordinance and the advertisement of a public hearing for the consideration of rezoning of certain properties of North Reading Road and Wabash Road per the petition submitted by Cherry Place Properties LP, RZ 2023-01 for October 19th, 2023.
And I will second that motion. Any questions? Yes, sir.
You said October 19th or 17th?
19th.
19th,
We said
okay.
17th and then corrected it.
Okay, is that gonna be here or somewhere?
That would be part of the regular meeting.
I mean, in this building, usually those things get a lot more people than what this building will hold.
Right now, it's scheduled.
Okay.
Next meeting, we're scheduled at Smokestown Fire.
Can do there a couple times.
If needed, we will. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Motion passes. Next on the agenda, Hardy LLC, and we have some representatives here this evening.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm here with John Pure from Pure Engineering and Harvey Turner for Hardy LLC. We have a similar request for rezoning, and we've been here a couple of times. Basically, expansion of the mobile home park, and what we're asking for is the posting, advertising, and scheduling of the hearing. It has been reviewed by both the Lancaster County Planning Commission and the Township Planning Commission. Both recommended approval of the petition to rezone. I would.
County did not.
Well, I was, just let me, I'm gonna follow through. The recommendation to allow the expansion of the mobile home park. The Lancaster County Planning Commission proposed a different way of doing it. And that was, if you read it, they're proposing that you put it, allow in the R1 district for mobile home park as well. And that their argument with that was that it would allow for a higher density. We had quite a bit of discussion with this at the Planning Commission. Obviously, it would not be detrimental to Mr. Turner to have that R1 designation and allow him to expand the mobile home park. Frankly, we don't think that it's the best decision for the township to do that. We feel as though the mobile home park, and obviously you can speak to your solicitor engineer about this, the mobile home park designation is just cleaner. The reason we think that is because we don't believe that there is any logical way, economic way, that you're going to get a village district in there, given that with the existing mobile home park. So, even Mr. Turner would certainly, we're willing to proceed either way, but we stand by the fact that our first petition would think that that would be the way that would make the most sense.
That's correct. So the County Planning Commission recommended against the rezone as presented in the petition. And the two reasons being the diversity of housing and the density of housing that would be permitted by the rezone as presented. Their alternate was to add as a use permitted by right in the R1 district, mobile home parks, and as a special exception in that district, new or expanded mobile home parks. Our planning commission reviewed that, and they thought the applicant's approach was the best way to go.
And I would just add to that, after the planning commission and speaking with Mr. Turner, he would, if density is an issue, there may be other ways to look at getting more density in there. There may be things that are not in the village overlay district. There's nothing at this point in time, but certainly if that was something that the township wanted to explore in that area in terms of the density, moving forward we could, but he's not opposed to that. It's just, again, the economics of it.
So the consideration tonight, or the proposed motion, is to authorize the preparation of an ordinance and advertise for a hearing to consider the rezone, period. If we advertise to consider rezoning, we can't pivot at the hearing to a different solution. We need to move to a new ordinance, new advertising, and send it back to the planning commissions for review. So, not to prejudge, but you're framing the process by your action tonight. Not to say that you can't pivot, it's just that the process would then have to be attenuated if you did pivot.
Any thoughts? Question? Yes, sir.
Yeah, hi, Steve Brubaker. So, yes, Mr. Krem is correct. in his assessment. According to the letter that was sent July 13th by the Lancaster County Planning Commission, they did not approve of the rezoning specifically for what was outlined with the units, unit density that we're trying to accomplish here. Further on in your agenda tonight, you'll see that you have discussions on the comprehensive plan for the region. And in East Cocalico, a couple of things that the folks that got together and put together the comprehensive plan talked about specifically for East Cocalico was high density living units and a variety of housing, duplexes, townhomes. A mobile trailer park does not provide for that. And the fact that the parcel of land where the applicant is requesting the rezoning, there are 2 other mobile parks in that area. So that doesn't, the variety of housing would not work there.
And it also talks about township providing sufficient affordable housing too, doesn't it?
Well, Village Overlay is very affordable. You put in look at Wabash Landing, that's 190 units, and they have apartments in there, and it's very affordable.
We would I would respectfully disagree with that. I don't think that Wabash Landing, I think, and the owner, Mr. Turner, can speak to it more, but that's one of the problems. We have a hometown square in Clay Township, which is a similar overlay district. And while they sound wonderful in creation, there are a lot of things that come along, alleyways, private roads, things that people do not want to afford, and certainly lower income people would not be able to afford if they actually had home ownership. Again, we think that, that's what we think. This also, frankly, keeps the township with the most control. You're doing this designation. It should have been, it could have been back when the mobile home park district came in, put into place. This way you're not expanding that R1 district elsewhere. It's pretty most straightforward.
It's also zoned over single-family homes, and if you, I didn't do the math, but you might get 30 homes in there, single-family homes, 25, 30, where we're proposing to double that. So if they're worried about density, they want to talk about that.
Yes, sir.
Question. If I remember correctly, when this plan, I think I commented on it, there was a cul-de-sac in this plan. And the township has done away with cul-de-sacs years and years ago. You found there just nothing but trouble, especially in the wintertime, as I stated before. Is that still on the books, or has that been changed, or?
It would be a private road.
Right.
So it has nothing to do with
the
township man.
And of course, a rezoning is not conditioned or tied to any plan. So plan details,
Right.
if at all, come later.
What's the wish of the board? Ready to move forward?
Part of the things I'm thinking about is, like the Lancaster County Planning Commission said, balance with Steve said, right, the comprehensive plan that you just spent a year putting together for the region.
Might I add is that the site is not really conducive to planned residential complex. your density, the only way you're gonna get a lot of more density than what we're talking about is to go to multi-story apartments. There's a big drainage area in there that we have to take care of, and has some pretty good grades in there to deal with. So I think what we have as far as density is probably about what you can get. And to do some type of a model plan is going to become very expensive because those plans, as you probably know in the past, take a long time to get approved and become quite costly because of requirements.
So we're straying into the merits of the request, which is really more appropriate for the hearing that you're going to hold, but it is in aid of you considering what you want to advertise. You could advertise alternatively. You could prepare an ordinance, or ordinances, I'd have to think about this, that give you a choice at the hearing, and then people come and they repeat themselves of what they said tonight in the context of the hearing, and you can judge all of that together with whatever else might be heard. Again, what you choose to advertise is by no means a commitment to adopting what you advertise.
It's just a hearing.
It's just, yeah, and if we do it alternatively, you have an opportunity to do it in a single process. If we don't do it alternatively, we would have to do it in successive processes, again, if at all. And you don't have to act tonight. I know that the petitioner would like you to act tonight, but you don't have to.
That seems like it might be the reasonable way to go, where it allows some flexibility at the hearing. So, and then hopefully Lorenzo will be there to weigh in as well.
Yeah, we can do that.
I think that's probably the reasonable way to go to help keep them moving.
I can tell you, Mr. Turner, he would appreciate that. We have no objection. Again, either way, while I certainly recognize the differences, both would potentially allow for an expansion at that point. So we would be in agreement with whichever the township prefers, honestly.
How would that change the motion set forth?
I think the motion would read, a motion to authorize the preparation of ordinances and the advertisement of the public hearing to consider rezoning certain property as proposed in the petition submitted, and the rezone of same property to amend the R1 zoning district.
And then the text of the R1.
Yeah, so that would be a text amendment to allow existing mobile homes as use permitted by right, and new and expanded mobile homes as use permitted by special exception.
Okay. Are you good with that?
Yes, yes.
Matt?
It can be done.
Okay.
We didn't know what district it was.
Okay.
Same, October 19th.
And I will make that motion as stated by Mr. Ryan. Do I hear a second?
I will second that.
Motion is second. Any more questions?
Quick, you said October 19th. Is that in the evening or during the day?
That's an evening.
Well, because that's the same night as the supervisor meeting, I didn't know.
Yeah, so we typically do legislative hearings within
Okay,
the supervisor meeting.
okay.
Anybody else?
We do separate advertisements, but we do them within the context of the advertised meeting.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion passes.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. C&D Development, gentlemen.
We're here again.
We have C
report back from our last meeting, we had a couple takeaways. There's 3 items that we'd like to report on. The first one is the concept of rezoning the whole parcel instead of bifurcating it to two zones, 2 zoning districts. The second one is we looked into the possibility, the availability of different entities where we could make a donation in lieu of the Farm Preservation Act. I'm butchering the terms, but since this can't go into it, Matt did some research and will fill us in on what the options are. And then the third and final topic we'll discuss tonight is if we go for receipt alert approval, how we can sort of defer some of those, not defer for us, but reallocate some of those tax dollars back to the township. So as a quick overview, those are 3 things you won't take much of your time to go over. The first one, the rezoning, if it's still in the board's suggestion, we're happy to rezone the whole parcel as it is, and not only do 23 acres of it, it'll be the whole 43 acres being rezoned. We talked to Mr. Martin, and he's amenable to that, and we're amenable to that too. And I think it makes some sense. After you mentioned that, we went back and thought about it in your context and the township context. I think it may make some more sense than we were trying to do. So that's the one thing we're happy to do. Do you want to talk about the potential funding sources?
Yes.
What we can fund?
We contacted both the Lancaster County Agriculture Preservation Board and the Lancaster Farmland Trust. Both confirmed that we have the ability to make a donation in lieu of a TDR program, either directly to the actual programs or through the township. So only thing to report back is last time we talked about it to see if it was possible, confirming that it is possible within both programs.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification. I was unsure what the differences were between the 2.
Yeah, we were too, right? So, we're square on that. I think the solicitor asked us to clarify that last time, your colleague. And then the LERTA, you want to just fill in what our thoughts are on that.
We just
helpful.
I had discussed with Tommy just the concept of pursuing LERTA. If available, we would obviously be interested in pursuing it. Talked about just the concept of supporting local organizations that help service the communities, and we would obviously be interested in taking some of the tax dollars that we'd be saving in terms of LERTA and donating that, filtering it towards fire companies or whichever the township sees fit. Can further discuss if details with the board now or at a future time, but just confirming that we would be open to that concept.
And those are there are 3 takeaways between the meeting and the subsequent conversations to report back to the board to seek the approval on allowing this project to move forward through the zoning hearing process and see if it's good. I guess that's our request tonight.
Yeah, I feel like I owe you gentlemen a few comments here. And, in your first proposal, you did come in, and when you talked about subdividing the property, you made the comment about promoting agriculture by leaving part of that property staying in agricultural zoning. To me, with the background I have, a large set of farm buildings with no land really leaves them useless. So, when you're looking at a rezoning here, it somewhat makes sense. It's either all or nothing. And I wanted to, with all due respect to Mr. Martin, he was here the one night, made multiple comments about the productivity of the farm and all. I myself have some of those same soil types that I deal with, and there's times they can be challenging, but they can be successful too. So I think he's made a nice living through his life there, and to say that something couldn't keep going that way might be a little bit of a stretch from my perspective.
Sure, and I have no basis to judge.
Yeah, understood. So, with all that being said, I also understand that you know, every piece of farmland in Lancaster County probably will not stay farmland forever. But there is many pieces in our township that I hope do, and there's been many that have been preserved. And to me, this is a big deal when you start talking about taking farmland out for light industrial use like that. So I apologize for the delay and all, but you know, up to this point, I just really hadn't seen quite a proposal that I was comfortable with making that kind of decision. So I'm happy to hear that we're kind of getting a meeting of the minds in some ways about some thoughts going forward. I guess for me, I'm not sure quite there yet.
Well, I guess, you know, this is our fourth time in front of the board. We've tried to be open-minded, right, and we appreciate your candor, and that's how we operate too. And I don't know what more, or how better I can address the concerns, or if there's any other question we've asked multiple times, so we could answer, we could come back, and every time we've been asked a question, I think we come back with a fully thought-out response.
That's correct.
And something that makes sense for your board. I think, you know, the farming, I get the whole preservation. I think the idea of, since there's not a TDR here, I think it's almost, this is like the best we can do. But I'm open to listen. We think this is the right project, the right location, and, you know, we're here as long as you listen to us and as long as we keep working at it. But I think that, I don't know what more we can do, is my question.
So Jeff, let me ask you this. The amount of times they've been, we do know this is property that was industrial in the past.
Correct.
It was in the blanket rezone. Okay. We have the farmer testify and you're concurring that land is pretty difficult to work on. Okay? Well, let me just say, the farmer has clearly testified that that's pretty difficult to farm that soil. And like I said, of all the places where warehouses could potentially go in the intersections where we are sitting in East Cocalico, to me that one makes the most sense because the Acme warehouses over there. You've got Wilhelm Transport over there. You've got a bunch of larger warehouse type buildings and they're tucked up back in that little corner, as I call it, the community. So why don't we just refer this out now? For, again, it's just a referring out for a petition to have a hearing to see what the community thinks, what we think.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it is a big deal when you're taking farmland for any light industrial purpose. This is still Lancaster County. We've seen in other parts of the county within the last year where you know, residents have stepped up and really been against these kind of things. And I would not want you know, be wasting your time under that respect either. I just quite haven't seen the proposal that I'm ready to move forward with.
Well, what would make it work?
Well, I'm not allowed, according to council, I'm not allowed to say.
Then how do we get over the impasse? Like, we're willing to listen to any reasonable request. I think we've proven that. We're accommodating to at least the best. Honestly, I'm happy to listen to anything. I just don't know what more to do. If I thought there's other things we could do, I would throw it out on the table. Right? I'm just kind of at an impasse here on how to move, how to get you guys what you need. Yeah. Can Tommy, can you? I don't know the rules of the.
I've shared with you everything that the board has expressed interest in.
So, members of the board, you're not being asked to set a hearing, you're not being asked to advertise an ordinance like previous two requests. This just moves the conversation into a more formal setting and opens it up to two groups of others to share their wisdom on it with you. It may in the end be a waste of time, but that's really part of the process as well. All the applicant, the petitioner is asking is that there be a continuation of the conversation.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
I guess with that perspective, today I'm still a no with what is coming. So, just to be fully transparent with you gentlemen, you're moving forward with that comment from me.
I understand. And that's what we do for them. We understand the process, we understand the risk. We, if we make our case between the board and with the public input too, that's the right location, the right spot, and we're successful, then there'll be a project. But we're asking them, let's let that process take out. That's all I'm asking for, is a shot.
With that perspective, well, we need to decide what we're going to do here first. With that perspective, I've been fully transparent with the applicant here. I'm ready to send it down the road.
Yeah, I am also.
And you are also.
I have been the entire time, so.
All right.
I'll make a motion to accept and refer out for reviews a petition to rezone the property at Stone Hill Road and Gaming School Road as submitted by C&B Development LLC RZ 2023-03.
And I will second that. Now, any questions?
I just wondered where it was. I didn't catch that. Stone Hill and Gaming. And it's active farmland right now?
It is an active farm with cows and everything that goes with it.
Because Acme was basically scrubland back there. That was scrub. That was
Correct. This is an active farm, well-grown crops on it this year. And that's what we're talking about. Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Appreciate your time and thanks for the patience with us.
Well, thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good night.
Okay. Next on our list tonight, vendors and development. Anybody here representing that?
I am here as well. That's also my project. Although I think this is simply asking you to accept and refer along the petition. Although given the way the last one went, maybe you want to have some discussion about it. I don't know.
Well, Tommy, I guess you said there was some comments maybe from Lorenzo.
Yeah, Lorenzo had shared with me some comments on the application.
Okay.
And maybe it's in the best interest of the board to defer the conversation to the next meeting.
And even just in terms of accepting it and referring through the process? Okay.
Yeah.
And when is that going to be scheduled for?
We would do it at our meeting on the 21st of September. That date is correct. Be here on the 21st.
Very well. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And next on our
You just said the 21st of September? You don't meet the beginning of September?
We do, but this would be considered at the second meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
And next on our agenda tonight, comprehensive plan for the Cocalico region. Are you okay moving forward with that?
Yes, so just a little background for the community. This was led by the Lancaster County Planning Commission and a number of the people down in that area. This is a comprehensive plan for the Cocalico area and the region, where there was extensive focus groups where we sat down and talked numerous times about what is the future, what's the future that people are looking for within the area, including West Cocalico. Steve, you were part of that, so it was West Cocalico, East Cocalico, Denver, Adamstown, and basically getting all that information and the culmination of what all the input was from all of the parties involved. There was an extensive resident feedback period, and that feedback period was even a personal feedback period that was done during the Denver Fair. So as a result of all of that, the other municipalities are currently adopting that. So that's the background. So what I would like to do at this point is make a motion to authorize the preparation of a resolution and the advertisement of a public hearing to consider the adoption of the comprehensive plan for the Cocalico region.
And I will second that. Any questions?
10-7, 10-9.
Thank you, for October 19th.
Any questions? Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion passes. Greenstown Heights Storm Sewer Project Certification. Tommy, you got something on that?
Yes, the Greenstown Heights Storm Sewer Project was recently completed. The board would recall the low bid awarded was approximately $289,900. The final cost of the project came in a little less, at about $285,000. Our Public Works Department did the inspections. Ken was instrumental in landing the grant, as you know, and assisted throughout the process with administrative assistance. At this point, in order to proceed and close out this grant, the board approval of the certificate of acceptance is required.
Okay, and everything went there according to plan, right?
We did.
Ken, you have anything to add on that?
No, the pipes, there was video inspection done of them after they were completed. I didn't look at every inch of every pipe, but the ones I looked at looked good. So yeah, I have no problem. I think they got nice.
There was a few where borings had gone through some pipes and that all got stripped out.
Right, that was all fixed before the relining was started.
Okay.
So there were also some sections of pipe that needed to be replaced, that were damaged beyond where you could line them, and all of those were fixed. So that the full length of all of the pipes in the project now should be functional long-term. This lining should last for decades.
Yeah, that's all good news. Good job on the grant on that, Ken. Okay. Well, then I'll make a motion to execute a certificate of acceptance for the Greenstown Heights Storm Sewer Project. Do I hear a second?
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, none. Motion passes. Next on the agenda, PennDOT winter maintenance agreement. Every year PennDOT comes to us seeking help with winter maintenance on a few of their roads in the township. They're coming at us again. And the numbers on that are a little bit higher this year, Tommy?
Correct. The compensation's about $300 more this year than last.
Okay. Okay. Are you good with that then?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to execute a winter municipal snow removal contract with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for services provided for the April 2023 to 2024 season.
And I will second that motion. Any questions? Seeing none, do I hear a motion to approve? favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, none. Motion passes. Cocalico School District permit fee. Tommy, once again.
No,
Matt.
Tommy's good.
Tommy's good.
So members of the board, this is an $11 million project, the school district to renovate Williamstown Elementary School. It is a project which the township is very supportive. The request was made by the school district to consider a reduction in the fee off of the ordinance schedule. There's several components that go into this. Some of it is directly related to reviewing the plans and approving the construction. Others have to do with the ongoing obligation to inspect and approve the project as it's underway. And then there are some administrative costs on the township related to all of this. After reviewing this with Technicon, our code administrator, it was agreed to reduce the fee in two respects. The township will waive its fee as a courtesy to a fellow governmental entity, subdivision of the Commonwealth, and Technicon is reducing their fee by 10%. So it's a reduction, and I do need to turn to Tommy again, of over $30,000.
Yeah, the original permit fee was approximately $105,800. And the proposed permit fee is $72,186.
So all in all, my experience is we typically do something like this for our governmental partners, and this will cover Technicon's time and commitment during the ongoing project, so we do recommend it.
Okay. You're all right with that? Okay. I'll make a motion to approve a permit for the Williamstown Elementary School renovation project in the amount of $72,186. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Second for your motion. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Motion passes. Okay, next on the agenda is the treasurer's report. Okay. Check payments for the general fund bank account, listed bills in the amount of $321,560.57 for the week of August 10th, 2023. And let me just comment briefly, there was a large bill for Martin paving for road work done in the township, and there was an MMO payment, which made up the numbers to a little bit. Any questions on the bills as presented? Yes, sir.
Doug Macklin, what roads are we talking about for that? What was it, 100, I'm doing it from memory, 102 or 120,000?
$1,649.30.
For the roads?
That was Martin Drive, Bones Hill Road, and I'm missing something.
No,
Just two roads.
Bones Hill and Martin Drive?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
Anybody else? Seeing none, I make a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Check of payments for the general fund bank account, list of bills in the amount of $1,429.88 for the week of August 17th of 2023. I make a motion to pay this list of bills. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion passes. Okay, the next next one, a motion to approve check payments for the light fund bank account list of bills in the amount of $13,436.98 for the week of August 10th of 2023. I make a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions there? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, none. Motion passes. And a motion to approve the electronic payment list of bills in the amount of $89,566.34 for the pay period from July 30th, 2023 to August 12th of 2023. Made a motion there. Do I hear a second?
And a second.
Motion and a second. Any questions there? Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none. Motion passes. Okay, that's the treasurer's report tonight. Mr. Savage, calls in your report.
Thank you. The chief's report for July 2023, a few notable arrests. York City man was charged with aggravated indecent assault and indecent assault for an incident that occurred in the 1000 block of North Reading Road back in June of 2022. Officers investigated and obtained an arrest warrant in February of 2023, but his whereabouts were unknown. He was finally located in York County in June of 2023 and remanded to York County Prison. A Reading City woman was arrested for simple assault and harassment, domestic violence related, after police were dispatched to the Penn Amish Motel, 2480 North Reading Road. She was arraigned at Lancaster County Central Booking and released on unsecured bail. On July 3rd, a Denver man was charged with reckless endangering and discharging a firearm within borough limits after he shot about 10 rounds from his AK-47 rifle into the air while standing on his rear porch. He was arrested and his rifle was confiscated. Reading City man was charged with fleeing and attempting to elude police. 2 counts of DUI, criminal mischief, driving while operating privileges are suspended, reckless driving, and 3 other summary violations after an incident on July 3rd of 2023 that started in the 2000 block of North Reading Road. An officer was on routine patrol when a vehicle passed him going northbound at a high rate of speed. That officer immediately activated his emergency lights and sirens and attempted to stop the vehicle. The driver refused to yield, traveling at a high rate of speed, weaving in and out of traffic and going. He actually went through a steady burning red signal at the intersection at 897. At that point, since it was noon, with the amount of traffic on the roadways, the officer terminated the pursuit due to the driver's obvious disregard for the safety of other motorists on the road. About 30 minutes later, officers were dispatched to a motor vehicle crash at the intersection of North Reading Road at West Church Street. When officers arrived, they determined that one of the vehicles involved in the crash was the same vehicle that fled from that officer. In fact, witnesses indicated that he was driving southbound at a high rate of speed and went through the steady burning red signal at West Church Street and struck another vehicle. Both drivers were not injured. They both signed off with the ambulance, refusing to go to the hospital. Officers determined the driver that fled was impaired, and a blood test indicated levels of methadone, which is a Schedule II controlled substance. While at the effort of Wellspan Hospital for the blood draw, immediately following after the blood draw, the driver intentionally overturned a medical cart, damaging their computer screen and equipment. He was arraigned at Lancaster County Central Booking and remanded to Lancaster County Prison. During the month of July, officers located 2 adult males in East Cocalico Township and 2 adult males in Denver Borough. Each had outstanding arrest warrants. They were all taken into custody and turned over to the issuing authorities. We did 2 week-long speed studies. Speed studies are not traffic enforcement. What it is the radar sign that's affixed to a utility pole. It records the vehicle traffic as far as the volume, and also average speed, high speed, low speed. So one of those speed studies was conducted in the 300 block of South Williamstown Road. The posted speed limit there is 35 miles an hour. The average speed during that week was
I didn't have my glasses on. The average speed during that week was 39.6 miles per hour. The highest speed recorded was 64. Another speed study was conducted in the 100 block of West Church Street. The posted speed limit there is 35 miles per hour. The average speed during that week was 40.5 miles per hour. The highest speed recorded was 66. So officers did perform a speed enforcement detail in the 200 block of East Lancaster Avenue in Denver Borough. As a result, 11 citations were issued. The highest speed there was recorded at 48 miles an hour, and that's a 25 mile per hour zone. Another speed enforcement detail was performed in the 700 block North 6th Street, again in Denver Borough. 10 citations were issued, the highest speed there being 48, and that's also in the 25 mile per hour zone. So moving over to the township, officers performed a speed detail in the 200 block of West Sportsville Road, which is State Route 897. 11 citations were issued, the highest speed was 58 in a 40 mile per hour zone. And the last speed detail that officers conducted was in the 400 block of Pawnstown Road. 22 citations were issued, and the highest speed there recorded was 66 in a 35 mile per hour zone. And on a positive note, Officer Rachel Odenwald inspected and installed one child seat for a resident. Officer Odenwald is a certified Safe Kids child seat technician, and we provide that service for residents. And that concludes my report.
Okay. Any questions for your interim chief?
Officer Savage. So, just for clarification for the community, so any member of the community can call the department, stop by with kids' seats, and she can actually check that for them?
Absolutely.
How does that work?
It's best to call ahead to see to make an appointment when she's working. Also on our department webpage, there's a link where you can click on and just send her an email to try to make an appointment. Now through that program, she receives car seats and booster seats, and we actually distribute them for free to residents as well, residents that are in need. So it's a great program, but she'll inspect car seats, make sure that they're installed correctly. In fact, she'll install them too. But yeah, she does a terrific job with that program.
Thank you.
Good job.
Those car seats are dated, aren't they? They expire after a certain period of time?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Moving right along, Tommy, is there anything here for finance tonight? No. Public Works? No. No. Building zoning? Okay. Ken, anything MS4?
Not specifically MS4, but we did get a reply back on our Community Development Block grant for the Wabash Landing Playground, and it was not funded. They said they had significantly more requests than they had money for this time around.
When's the next grant period come along on that?
It's annual. It would start around next February or something.
Okay. Let's hope we have better luck there. Okay. Any information items? New business? Old business, got Act 172. We should probably table that with Lorenzo not being here tonight.
I agree with that.
Same thing with the records policy, I think. That's an unfortunate guy. We'll see you next meeting. Okay, public comment. Please state your name for the record.
Doug Mackley. I have comments and concerns regarding the township budget. I have the budget status report for the first 8 months of this year. The easiest way for me to calculate anything is take 100% divided by 12, which turns out to be 8.33% per month. So, starting on page 5, you have a solicitor township general budget of $30,000. I'm screwed up. $25,000, and you've already spent 17. Just keep those numbers in mind, please. On the next page 6, it says legal services other. I'm gonna ask the secretary, the treasurer, what's other?
That's a good question. If our financial person was here, we would refer that to her.
Okay, well, that was budgeted.
I will get you an answer next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay.
That was budgeted at $30,000 for the year. We already spent $36,000.
You want?
Yeah, no, that's special counsel.
Special counsel.
Special counsel is what?
The labor attorney.
What labor attorney?
I'm sorry?
But not Matt.
No, labor counsel. Township labor counsel.
Mike Miller?
Yes.
He's under the police budget, isn't he?
Not always, no.
Okay. The next one is the legal services for the police department. You budgeted $10,000, and so far this year we spent all but $29,000. And that begs my question that all three of you guys, including Lorenzo, knew that there's an arbitration hearing coming up this year. And if you didn't know, you should have known that the township pays both sides of that bill. They pay our labor and they pay the arbitrator. So I don't know where your heads were at, but you're way under budget on that one. Over budget, I'm sorry, thank you, thank you. MS4, there's legal services. Let's get to it. MS4 legal services budgeted $5,000 and we're at $3,300. My point being that so far this year, let me get to the right page. We have spent, there was $60,000 in legal fees budgeted for the township, not including the police department. We spent $56,000 already. At that rate, we're going to continue, and it'll be $105,000 by estimate at the end of the year. I'm going to ask, and I'm looking at Jeff because he's the treasurer, where's that money coming from?
Thank you for your comments, sir.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Everybody heard that. Again, like I said, the legal services for the arbitration, you were way, way under budget. I don't know how that happened. Well, they're under, well, yeah, they're over budget, yes, I'm sorry. Page 13, there's some real nasty ones in here. Multi-Parage Insurance Package Umbrella. The board always gets quotes on insurance before you budget. At least we used to. Don't you do that anymore? Every one of these you're over. That one you're over by 38% so far this year. Crime prevention insurance policy, you're over by 14%. No, you're over, yeah, you're 114% over. Pesticide and herbicide, 600% over budget. Salads is definitely, as Maxwell would say. But again, where's this money coming from? Do we have a money tree out back that no one knows about? Or?
As you know, sir, you've been through many budgeting processes in your history. Some line items come over, some line items come under. Why don't we look at it again at the end of the year and see where the whole budget is?
Okay, might I don't want to say suggest, but might I make the comment that maybe that's the reason the salt shed's on hold? That you're going to use that $175,000 to make up the differences.
It's not my fault, sir.
Okay, so the salt shed still is on a go? I haven't heard anything about it lately.
That's right, the board has not discussed it.
I guess my comment, since you're in the acting chair, is when is the board going to discuss it? You've been telling us that for the last 3 months.
That's correct.
You don't have any timetable to discuss it?
No board members wanted to put it on the agenda.
On this agenda, but I'm just.
On any agenda.
On any
That's
agenda,
fine.
okay,
Except when we were talking budget last.
okay. All right, one other question that has nothing to do with the budget. Who is the zoning officer here in the township?
Ted Nelson, technically.
So I call him if I have complaints.
No, you call me.
Why do I call you?
Because he's a consultant, and the consultants will report to me on resident inquiries.
And you'll see that the thing gets taken care of, or he does?
I'll communicate it to Ted.
Okay, and if I turn something in and I want to know if it's been dealt with?
You'll speak to me about it.
Okay. All right, that's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Schumacher, I have a question. Why aren't we getting, I noticed we never have it's just a question, we never have an manager's report. Down under the department reports, we always had manager's report.
Yeah, really master's report.
Well, the roadmaster has, is that under Public Works?
Public Works.
Okay, so is there a reason why we don't have a report?
I've never done a manager's report. You
But
can
this
ask- You can ask me any question.
This township has always had a manager's report. So my question is, did you just arbitrarily decide you weren't gonna do it, or?
As I said, I've never done it.
RC, you were, the chairman? Were you the chairman when he came on board, or no?
Say no, not at that time period.
So none of you ever asked him to do a manager's report, even though historically, all managers have given.
If I have a question, I contact him. If he has a question, he contacts me. And he always does that evenly with the board for my observations.
I still don't understand, because he
Well,
works.
that's why we have public comment.
Yeah.
If you have a specific issue that you're not sure of, you have your
Well, he
5 minutes
works-
to ask them.
He works at the discretion of the board, the
That's correct.
supervisors. So, and I do have another question. He is the manager, but you're also our administrator, aren't you, Tommy?
How so? What capacity?
By
We have
the
a
township
pension
ordinance,
administrator, I'm not a pension
by the
administrator.
township ordinance,
Administrator of what?
it says you shall be
We have a
the
floodplain,
administrator.
we have a floodplain administrator, and I'm serving that capacity. We have a pension plan administrator, I am not serving that capacity.
Well, now wait, let me, on the manager, under our ordinance, C, the township manager shall be the administrator of the township.
Of day-to-day
That's pretty cut and
operations.
dry.
Of day-to-day operations. There are a number of titles that have the word administrator in it.
And is responsible for carrying out the policies and directives of the Board of Supervisors in the township.
That's common language, yeah.
Okay, so we've had policies here that have very much changed. Who changed those policies? When did they change?
Was there a written policy that the manager prepared a monthly report?
Not that I remember.
It's practice.
That's
So it
past
was a
practice.
policy.
We tried to keep the public informed. We weren't trying to hide things from them when I was on the board. And this whole thing just gives me the sense that there's stuff going on behind the curtains that nobody knows anything about. And the easiest way is just kick it down the road and throw some fancy language at it and say, oh, that doesn't matter, or this doesn't matter, or I'm not a manager, I'm an administrator, or vice versa.
I disagree with your assessment.
Well, that's fine, I know you're going to, but it clearly says in our ordinance, which you now are employed by us, you are the manager that means you report to these guys up front,
I agree with
and
that.
they report to us,
I agree with that as well.
okay? So I know Matt has said in the past that manager, if he was a manager, he wouldn't have to do that, but you don't have an administrator, you have a manager. No, we have an administrator. It clearly says that in the ordinance.
And that was my question. This township has an ordinance. It is directing you, and yet the township manager shall have the power to perform any non-legislative function. The township manager is responsible for the general administration of the township.
Common language.
So that puts me back to Matt. When you argued with, not argued, you didn't agree with Melissa Maluski, the Media Law Council. You clearly said, and I could quote you, you said, we do not have an administrator, we have a manager, otherwise, so therefore she was wrong with what she said.
So there are administrators with a small a and administrators with a capital A. And when I responded to that question, I was using, again, the convention that many municipalities have an administrator, capital A, they don't have a manager, capital A. The distinction is that an administrator doesn't have the authority of a manager. The manager has the authority of the statute implemented by the ordinance. So that phrase that the manager may do all of the non-legislative functions of the board only applies to a manager, cannot apply to an administrator. So for example, and this question has come up before, the manager does the hiring and the firing under the ordinance. An administrator does not have that authority. That authority in that case, when there's an administrator, is with the Board of Supervisors.
The Board of Supervisors do the hiring as per the Pennsylvania Supervisors Manual.
Correct. But a manager may do all of the non-legislative functions of the supervisors. So the powers of the supervisors, except adopting legislation, ordinances, devolve onto a manager under the second-class township code.
But hiring is an official action.
Exactly, and done
And
by the board
All official
or by the
actions
manager.
must be voted on in a public meeting. Have it in black letter. Hiring is an official action. Tommy was allowed to find a person and recommend it, but that person should have been voted on by the supervisors
In a public meeting.
public meeting. It was an official action. Now,
So once again, we disagree.
you can disagree, but
So have you read the solicitor section of the second-class township code?
Not interested.
Yeah, it says, a very interesting word, that the solicitor controls the legal affairs of the township.
Absolutely, you're there to keep these guys out of jail, and I know that.
So far, so good.
They were, Tommy doesn't even live here, he doesn't pay taxes here. I do, I pay their wages through the Commonwealth. So I'm just saying, those guys run this place. I don't even know why you need supervisors if you have a manager. Why do you need him? He's making all the decisions.
All right, is there anybody else? Any other questions?
I have a question. I'm on the computer. I'm sorry. I'm on Zoom. So regarding this easement on Keeler Avenue, where exactly does it say on any past document that anything needs to be in 20 feet of this easement?
I don't think we're set up to
So,
know.
members of the board, this is an issue that the manager and the zoning officer has addressed enforcing a 20-foot setback from a private alley.
If you saw the alley, you would, if you came and saw this alley, there are trees, there is rubbish. It has brought so much unnecessary drama that somebody got arrested this weekend due to this pushback we're getting about this fence.
There was a subdivision plan for the Reevestown Heights community.
From 1960.
1960. And on that plan, a 20-foot wide alley exists on some of the lots in Reevestown Heights. And there is a note on the plan that says, that alley shall remain open and available to be accessed by all property owners in that subdivision. The alley is not a public alley. The alley has not been dedicated.
Yeah.
The question here is a resident wanted to place a fence in the alley. The fence, of course, would restrict access across.
What is it getting access to? There's no access point.
The alley right now is privately held, and it's clear on the subdivision plan that it's to be remain open for the use of all the residents in Reevestown Heights.
Do you think
An
it
application
is
was submitted for
benefiting
a fence
anybody?
permit, and knowing that restriction, it would be irresponsible of the township to permit a fence to be put up in the alley.
So what is the reason for the 20-foot gap? I've done a lot of research on these easements, and usually it's 5 to 10, which is totally reasonable. But this 20-foot really cuts back the amount of land that we have, and we don't want any more issues than we already have.
Notwithstanding the width of the easement, it's what was determined at that time. I'm bound by what has been recorded with this subdivision.
There's a 20-foot easement on the plan over the rear of all of these lots. The township will not issue a permit to construct anything in that easement area. It's that simple.
Okay, is there anybody else?
Yeah, one more.
Well,
One more, Jeff.
You had your chance tonight.
One more, Jeff. I have a question.
Quickly, please.
I have to ask Tommy, who gave you permission to do the hiring when it clearly says the board does the hiring? Did you give him permission to hire someone?
Members of the board, when this was asked months and months and months ago, the answer was the ordinance establishing a manager grants the authority to the manager for all non-legislative functions as permitted by the second-class township code, and hiring and firing is a non-legislative function.
It's an official action.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Donnie Stover. I just want, if you could pass on to the road crew and the officers that work overnight, Saturday to Sunday, that for their help, because we got a little walk on that side of the hill. And they came out to help remove trees and stuff with us, so.
Well, and thank you for what you did. That was quite a storm that night. We were back there, I guess, ground zero as an area. And you were probably out for a few hours or more that night. Thank you for what you did. There was a lot of issues there. Electric out, trees down, etc. So, okay. Our next meeting will be Thursday, September 7th, 7 o'clock at Smokestown Fire Company, 860 Smokestown Road. And I guess we're still invited, Don?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, thank you.
On hot dogs?
Do I hear a motion to